years of picking up controllers in living rooms and bedrooms around the world, we are finally back under the bright light of the Global Series arena, because it's now or never in the MotoGP Esport Championship. Hello, good evening, and welcome along to live coverage from the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia of the season finale in the 2021 MotoGP Esport Championship. It's Jack Appleyard and Jack Gorse to bring you all of the action this evening. And Jack, we're in for a special one, mate, because a champion will be crowned inside the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, right you are, Jack. We're going to be crowning a champion, and we're going to be crowning a champion in the fantastic Global Series arena that you can see behind me. But while the bright lights of the Global Series arena shine, it's not the only thing that will be shining tonight. That will be the two-wheeled MotoGP Esport action we have coming up for you very, very shortly indeed. 2 races to decide who will become world champion. 7 points separate the top 2 in the championship, and it's all coming down to this. Plus, we have double points on offer, so you do not want to count out those others behind.
As you say, Jack, it's going to be a busy evening. Double points, 2 points separating the top 7. There's a lot going on tonight. So we've drafted in a little bit of help. Not only will we have Jack Miller joining us in the commentary box ahead of the final race of 2021 in a few minutes' time, but we've brought in a special guest to help us with all of the action tonight as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your host of the evening, Imi Barkley.
All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you to the Jacks, and hello and welcome, everyone. I mean, what a thrill it is to be here for the first time in real life this season here at Valencia. Now, if you're like me, you'll be pretty keen to see the highlights and get a recap of the season so far. So let's take a look at the MotoGP Esports Global Series Championship 2021. All right, so here we go, taking our riders virtually around the world to compete at legendary MotoGP tracks. A year full of adrenaline. Each year just gets more competitive with last-minute overtakes, every kind of angle catching on the cameras, and last-lap battles, a really competitive top group. Obviously some unexpected mistakes, and of course some rather dramatic crashes. Wet races, changing weather conditions, everything was thrown at our gamers. And here we're watching Adrian, 26, and Andrew, ZH, at Phillip Island. One of the best battles of the year. That was between our 2 last champions from 2020 and 2019. So, where does that leave us today? Here you have on screen all the winners from the 3 previous rounds of the championship. All in the same year, we have seen 4 different race winners. We've started in Portimao to Mugello, Sachsenring, Red Bull Ring, over to Phillip Island and Misano, and today Austin, and of course, Valencia. And should we take a look at the championship standings then? Adrian, 26, is the leader, and the gamers in the top 4 are separated by just 20 points ahead of the final 2 races. Well, behind Adrian, 26, is Stras, 73, 17 points behind the leader sits Andrew, ZH, followed by Pierre Ricciuti, 55. Well, all these Italian names are coming at us. And Williams Christian makes up the top 5. Now, here to witness the action unfold tonight, we are fortunate to have the MotoGP teams present in the audience here, supporting their riders. So hello and welcome to you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our 11 gamers that will fight for the 2021 MotoGP Esports Global Series Championship title. Should we bring them out on stage? Well, to start us off, Fuchs from Brazil in his 2nd season with the Global Series. We have Joel Clay from Spain, started as a reserve rider, stepping in from round 2 for his rookie year. Mr. TFTW, which stands for Mr. Tellep for the win, now in his 3rd season, coming all the way from Australia. And let's see who we have is Dark Bright from Italy, another rookie in the final, and he's certainly looking ready for it to take a win. And Jack Hammer, 4658 from Great Britain. With 46 for Rossi and Simoncelli's 58 in his name. Let's hope those numbers inspire him on track today. Woo! Riccardo Bottaro, 64 from Italy, finished in the top 5 in the last 4 races, but it's competitive out there. He'll need a great performance to stay in the top group. All right, we've got Williams Christian from Spain, 3rd overall in 2019 and 2020. Let's see if he can take himself on the podium today. And this name's a bit of a tongue twister. Piero Ricciuti, 55, from Italy, our youngest gamer in the group and the sensation of the year. A lot of support here tonight, fighting for the title in his first season. And let's see, Andrew ZH, also from Italy, the 2019 Global Series champion, told me that he's feeling on top of his game. Another rider from Italy, Trast 73, our double Global Series champion 2017 and 2018. Can he take home a 3rd victory? And finally, Adrian, 26 from Spain, the reigning champion and current championship leader. Here he is, coming now with the trophy that everyone wants in their hands. Welcome, Adrian. Take the mic here. Now, you really do know what it takes to win here and be a champion. How do you feel going into this event as the leader of the championship?
Hi to everyone. I am so happy to be here in the first position, but I know it will be very difficult because there are a lot of hard riders, and also in this round we have double points. So anything can happen. But anyway, I will try to do my best, and I hope this trophy can be mine again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Best of luck. Thank you. I'll take that back. You take your seat and get set up. Thank you, Adrian, 26. All right then, so there we have our excellent lineup, and having competed virtually all year, they are now meeting in Valencia for the first time this weekend, and they've been spending the last few days practicing and qualifying for this moment. So what are they fighting for? Let's take a look at their exceptional prizes. The top 3 riders of the season get all the glory. Look at this. The winner of the MotoGP Esports Global Series Championship will get the keys today and be able to drive home in the stunning BMW X4 M40i. The runner-up will receive a motorcycle from his own manufacturer. 3rd prize is the new Lenovo gaming laptop. What a stunning piece of equipment that is. Okay, and for the top 3 riders, they'll be receiving an unforgettable experience courtesy of long-standing MotoGP Esport Global Series Championship partner, Red Bull. So, some epic prizes for our gamers, and I'm really wishing you all the best of luck. Now, before we go to the first race tonight, let's have a look at the all-important Tissot Pole standings. Jack and Jack, take it away.
Yeah, thank you very much, Imi. Amongst all of those prizes, and First and foremost, I'll stop you from getting your phone out and checking how much that car's worth. 80,000 euros. Incredible. What a prize, Jack. I don't think we'll be seeing any of that. But good luck to all of our gamers. And as Imi said, that's not the only thing that they're fighting for. The Tissot Pole of Pole Awards is awarded to our MotoGP eSport gamer at the end of 2021 with the most pole positions. And this is how it looks ahead of 2 more qualifying sessions. Andrew ZH in pole position for the Tissot Pole of Pole Awards with 3 so far this year, Jack.
Yeah, he's been extremely good in one-lap pace. You can see that Trastevere, Adrian 26 and Williams Christian have also got 1 pole position. And this is exactly what they're going for. This beautiful-looking Tissot watch. Well, you'll never be running late if you've got that bad boy on your wrist, will you?
It's a lovely bit of kit, that, and Andrew ZH will be hoping that he can get that wrist sized up very shortly. Let's see, Andrew, there it is. Lovely. Hopefully we can get the sizes all sorted for him if he's to take another pole position. Qualifying did happen yesterday, but we won't give away the results of that one just yet. So let's start the build-up then towards the penultimate race of 2021 at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. This is the all-important session info for all of you guys at home that might be joining us for the very first time.
Yeah, so then basically it's time to get down into it, and we are going to COTA for race 7. Qualifying took place yesterday, that was 15 minutes, but that is not now. Now is the race time, and there you can see the rules and regulations that the riders are going to have to abide by over the next 8 laps around Austin. You can see there that tyre and fuel consumption is proportionate. That's one of the keys of MotoGP eSport to mastering, to be able to crown yourself as world champion. So they're going to have to be careful and watch out for those as we get ready to go for Austin.
So that's everything you need to keep your eye on then, all of the rules and regulations ahead of the 2 races this evening. But let's get into some of the action then. As I said, qualifying took place yesterday, 2 15-minute sessions. This is the first of them at the Circuit of the Americas.
So then, qualifying, as Jack has just said, it took place at the Circuit of the Americas for race 7 of the Global Series, penultimate race. And, well, it was an absolute cracker of a qualifying session. The first man on the front row of the grid, well, it was a pretty nail-biting finish, as he was the only man on a flying lap still to go as the checkered flag came out. And he had 3 splits that were red sectors, and it just all unravelled for him in that 4th sector, Jack.
Yeah, that, of course, the reigning world champion and the current championship leader, Adrian. He threw everything at it, but in the end, had to settle for 3rd. In front of him will be brother Williams Christian aboard the factory Suzuki. It was a solid qualifying session for Christian, clawing his way up the times to eventually take yet another front row start. Pole position, though, Jack, went the way of this man.
Yeah, he planted it on pole position once again for his 2nd of the year. Trastevere, the Yamaha man, the 2-time world champion. He's a fan favourite, and he's done it again here in COTA, and that is a massive blow to Adrian, the championship leader, as this is the man that is closest to him, just 7 points back. So then, now we know who's going to be on the front row. This is the rest of the classification. We've got Andrew ZH 4th, Riccardo Pataro, Piero Ricciuti, Jack Hammer, Joel Clay, Dark Bright, Mr. T and Fuchs rounding us all out.
Now, since we're back in the Global Series arena, we thought that we'd pull all of the stops out this evening, and we've got a little bit of a special camera to show you now. Instead of VAR, we've got our MotoGP eSport version, VRD, Virtual Race Direction. There they are in the bottom left-hand corner of your picture. Hopefully, we won't be seeing those guys do too much work this evening. We want to keep it clean out there, but just in case there's a little bit of bumping and barging, track limits might come into question as well. Those guys are here just outside the back of us, through that door there, and they'll be able to sort everything out. So it's nearly time to go racing. Before that, though, here are the overtaking hotspots you need to keep your eye on at Austin.
So then, COTA, it's one of the most difficult tracks on the MotoGP calendar, and that is exactly the same in eSport world as well. Circuit of the Americas, 5.5 kilometres, one of the longest ones, and one with the most corners as well. 11 left, and you're about to see how many right. There are 9 right as well, so plenty and plenty of overtaking opportunities for our MotoGP eSport stars. Now, here you go. Some of the sections to look out for, you'd say probably turn 12, Jack, wouldn't you? Maybe turn 20, the final one. That is another to watch out for. So, if there's going to be any sort of dive bomb shenanigans on the final lap, those are the places that you need to keep your beady eyes on.
Here we go then, it's about time we get going in the 2021 MotoGP Esports season finale. 4 riders split by only 20 points at the top of the table, and with double points on offer tonight, it could not be any more interesting. The momentum is going to swing one way or the other. Let's find out which as we go racing for the first time tonight at the Circuit of the Americas. Hosting race 7 of 8 in the 2021 Global Series. It's going to be a frantic 8 laps ahead of us, Jack. The championship could not be more finely poised. 7 points separating the 2020 King Adrian and our only 2-time champion Trastevere. Can the Italian make history and become Mr. 3-time instead of Mr. 2-time? Or will we see the Spaniard joining him on 2 eSport titles? Or could we see the likes of Andrew ZH, or maybe even the wild child rookie Piero Ricciuti come through and steal the title? There's so many storylines coming into this one, Jack. I can't wait to get going.
Yeah, nothing's out of the question here. We have 20 points, as Jack just say, covering those top 4. And double points, well, that basically means that if you win it, whoever is in second, you're going to pick up 10 points on them. So there is quite a fair swing of margin here as we're getting ready to go. Hopefully, very, very shortly indeed, we'll have all of our gamers ready, setups done. Interesting, just when we were talking to the eSport boys today, they were saying a lot that is very finicky with the setup, that from one session to the next, it can feel great and then feel terrible. So swings and roundabouts in MotoGP Esport, I'm sure that we could see a few upsets in this one.
In terms of the championship picture, to try and make it as simple as possible for you at home, because obviously double points isn't something that you're used to, it is quite simple actually for those top 4 in the championship. If they win both races, they're the champion, so that's the target for all of them. Trastevere will start from pole position then, with the factory Suzuki of Williams Christian and his brother Repsol Honda's Adrian joining him on the front row.
In fourth position on the grid, it's the first of the Bologna Bullets, Andrew ZH, the 2019 World Champion, followed by Riccardo Bottaro, and in 6th is Piero Ricciuti. Watch out for him, hard for the tyre, he's going to be pushing hard from the off.
Back onto row 3 of the grid, medium, Michelin choice for Jack Hammer. The same goes for Joel Clay on the factory Aprilia as well, with that final spot on the 3rd row of the grid going the way of the other KTM of Dark Bright.
And rounding us out on the grid then, it is Mr. TFTW, our Australian competitor, and our Brazilian competitor, Fuchs, on the Petronas Yamaha SRT machine.
Here we go, it's a long run up to the opening corner, uphill at Austin as well. The start absolutely pivotal in MotoGP Esport, with the margins so tight. If you can get an early advantage, it will be crucial. We are lights out and away in the MotoGP Esport season finale, and it's a perfect start from pole position for your poleman Trastevere. Look at him flying through, the whole shot goes the way of this drama already. Down goes Riccardo Bottaro, and the championship leader Adrian, the Repsol Honda man, is down at the opening corner.
Unbelievable. Not just that, but Andrew ZH has also been taken out. I think there's a bit of Ducati on Ducati warfare there. That is an absolute disaster. Trastevere, the man 7 points from the top of the championship lead in this, now has the championship leader all the way down in 10th.
This could not have gone any better for the Italian, and this is why qualifying is so crucial. You keep yourself out of any kind of business, and down goes Williams Christian. He takes out Mr. TFTW as well. Did he save that? Surely not.
Yeah, we've seen so often throughout the year when we've been doing these online and at home that Mr. T has been lagging all over the place, but that was not lag. He just held it on the front wheel for ages. I tell you what, Jack Hammer's benefited from this start up to 3rd place. Cracking start for the Brit on the KTM.
It is. He was pretty hard into turn 11 there. Ran wide as well as a result, but he looks like he's just about held on. Meanwhile, Trastevere, halfway through this opening lap, he's already 3/4 of a second clear of his compatriot Piero Ricciuti, who runs wide. Dark Bright has gone down at the back of the pack as well. This will help Adrian. There he is, your championship leader, already moving through the field to 7th. We'll have to keep our eye on him because that is absolutely crucial in the championship chase.
Yeah, and one person that we haven't spoken about in the championship chase yet is the rookie Piero Ricciuti. Up to 2nd off this start, has benefited from all the chaos, and that means that he's going to be clawing back big points. He's only 3:20 down, remember, and double points. It really does mean he's going to close that gap rapidly.
Here we are into the final sector then, turns 19 and 20 coming up of what has been an enthralling opening lap of MotoGP eSport action. We did tell you at the start of the show, at least you know that we weren't lying to you. Trastevere will lead them across the line then. Piero Ricciuti in second with Jack Hammer in third. Crashes, meanwhile, going the way of Adrian, Ricardo Bottaro, Andrew ZH and Williams Christian. And we can see VRD in the bottom of your picture because you might be able to see Ricky Bottaro has been handed a long lap penalty for that move at the opening corner. And I don't think, Jack, he can argue against that too much.
No, not at all. We all saw it. It went down the inside and it just went a little bit wrong. One of those manoeuvres where you just over-egged it a tiny bit and paid a very, very big price for it indeed. Now, we do need to highlight as well, Fuchs up into fourth. This is the strongest showing from him that we've seen all year in MotoGP. Here's this start again. Watch down the inside. Ricardo Bottaro on the Pramac Yahoo Pramac Racing bike. There he is. Oh. Just collects the pair of them, and that is two world champions down on the deck before they even knew what happened.
He T-boned them, really, didn't he? There's no other way. Here's another replay. Andrew ZH is so unlucky because actually he's the one that's got the penalty for getting a fantastic start from the second row of the grid. If it bogged down a little bit and he'd have ended fourth or fifth, he'd have managed to escape all of that, just like Ricciuti and Jack Hammer did.
Yep, but now we're seeing the start has transformed into an absolute mammoth gap in terms of MotoGP eSport. 1.2 seconds at the front. Trastevere, that really is romping home to victory at the moment. But we have to say, you need to be careful. COTA is one of those tracks, we spoke to them earlier, and they highlighted just how bumpy and difficult it was to be consistent around this American venue. So I'm not putting out the question yet that this is a one and done there for Trastevere in the lead.
But if you think that Adrian is unlucky, of course he is. But we have seen this before as well, because Trastevere was taken out earlier in the season at Phillip Island in a very similar incident. There's the live championship standings then, and as things stand, Trastevere is in an excellent position. 23 points clear of Piero Ricciuti with just one race remaining. Adrian, meanwhile, drops from first to third, now 25 adrift, but we've got a long way to go. But that's, as things stand, how the championship picture looks, and it's looking pretty rosy for the Italian.
Now, we just must stress again, once more, one final time, that double points are on offer. So even though that's 23 points, basically half that in terms of what he needs to do. So it's going to be very difficult for Piero Ricciuti or Adrian to claw that gap back, but it certainly is possible.
In terms of a little bit of quick maths as well, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if things stay as they are, Trastevere has to finish on the podium. That's all he has to do to confirm the third MotoGP eSport title. The difference between first and fourth with double points on offer is 24, meaning he has to be on the podium for our final race if things stay as they are. But things have changed already because Adrian has got himself ahead of Mr. TFTW into sixth. At this stage, Jack, every point quite literally is hugely vital.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Just looking at Williams Christian there, it looked as though he just went on the green, coming through turn 9, down into the hairpin here. So, and again, they need to be careful because we do have race direction, and we know they're going to be keeping their beady eyes on them if they go over any track limits. We've seen plenty of times this year that there have been long lap penalties. As it looks as though Christian's got out the slipstream of the Ducati, and he's going to try and outbrake him down into turn 12. I think he's just about got it done. He's got Mr. T ahead. Can he get it stopped without making contact? Perfect. Beautiful move. Got it pinpointed to the apex. That's Christian then up one place into 8th.
Yeah, that's the perfect Circuit of the Americas move from Christian. You can just see there as well at turns 13 and 14. That's where the long lap penalty loop is. Ricky Bottaro has to take that inside the next couple of laps now because he was awarded it one lap ago. Already down to 8th though, so he needs to get a move on. Meanwhile, the world champion, there's a fire lit beneath him. He's moved through to 4th already. His big hurdle now though is that there's 3 seconds up the road. You can see quite the distance ahead of him before he can start challenging for those podium places.
Yeah, he's looking fast, and a Repsol Honda looking fast in COTA. Well, we've heard that before, haven't we, in real life? Number 26 then, Adrian, is on the pipe at the minute, 2.9 back from Jack Hammer in third. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap, see how much it comes down over the next lap and a half or so, see if it's possible for him to catch. We know that Jack Hammer's been rapid throughout this whole year. He just hasn't quite gone his way in terms of setup or maybe chaos that's happened at the start, and he's been unlucky and caught out, just like Adrian and Andrew ZH were at turn 1 here in COTA.
Meanwhile, back at the front, Trastevere now 2 seconds clear of Piero Ricciuti. Everything is going A-OK for the Italian at this stage. The factory Yamaha man will be looking for his first championship since back in 2018. It's been quite the drought now for Trastevere. He'll be desperate to find himself back on the top of the championship podium. And so far, it's looking like it's going his way. Adrian, though, has cut that gap by half a second. It was 3 just half a lap ago. Now it's down to 2.5, so it's far from over this one. Adrian is throwing everything at it because he knows that his MotoGP eSport crown is on the line here.
Yep, certainly is on the line. Looks like Christian should have made up another place on Fuchs, as we are on board with Andrew ZH. Now we switch back to Riccardo Bottaro, looking back at the man that he collected on lap 1. Is he going to slide up the inside? Yes, he does. So a mistake there from Riccardo Bottaro, or maybe he just let him through, knowing, well, the first one chaos that we all saw. But that means that Andrew ZH is unleashed onto the back of this train of riders now. Look at that. That is a right opportunity to make up some seriously valuable points as we head into the final race later on.
I think after that mistake on the opening lap, that's Riccardo Bottaro trying to make his way back onto Andrew ZH's Christmas list. I think he might struggle, though, after that move at the opening corner. Here we are with Adrian, then the championship leader, and he is flying. Look at that gap on the left-hand side of your picture there, 2.1 seconds. It was 3 as they came across the line last time around, so within, what, a couple of laps, he's going to be there with Jack Hammer and challenging for the podium.
Yeah, pulled back 1 full second then in 1 lap, so he's going to be in striking distance in just a couple laps. This man, though, he's stretching the gap out the front, up to 2.4, almost reaching 2.5 now. Trastevere just putting in metronomic laps, almost Fabio Quartararo-esque on the M1 there. Just watch him through, nice and easy, taking the curb on the inside. Looks as though Trastevere, as long as there's no chaos and he doesn't make a small mistake, he should have this one wrapped up.
As you can see here, the good news for the MotoGP eSport riders is that the Circuit of the Americas in virtual form doesn't have the same kind of bumps that the MotoGP riders had to tackle with a month or so ago when we headed to Austin, Texas. Particularly, we'll see them as they go through turns 7 and 8 here, and then they'll go down the hill into turn 9, which has a huge bobble right there. But fortunately for these guys, they don't have that to tackle with. There's Riccardo Bottaro, you can see, he's just been given a track limits warning. Andrew ZH will have one coming his way shortly as well, because he just went onto the green as well. At the front, though, 2.5 seconds is Trastevere's lead now. No mistakes just yet coming from the 73. Is the move coming here from Andrew ZH, Jack? I think there is.
Yep, looks like he's just going to slipstream past Joel Clay, block him with a line out, break him, perfect. Up another position then. He's putting him a damage limitation ride right now, and he really, really needs it. He's got Fuchs next on the agenda. The Brazilian often quite hasn't had the pace of Andrew ZH throughout the series, but this is a really strong ride from Fuchs. Often we've seen him once or twice just up there in the order and then struggles to stay with them. Oh, there's a slight mistake, and that gets very, very close through the hairpin there, but looks as though Fuchs, just for now, is able to hold off the Ducati man.
You were mentioning the setup changes that these guys can make. Well, Fuchs, incidentally, this morning they were having a couple of practice sessions here live at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, and Fuchs admitted that he feels he's found nearly half a second a lap just from making some minute changes. It's just clicked and allowed him to feel much more confident with the bike out there, and that's clearly working as well. As you can see on the right there, that is a live graphic of tyre wear, so that rear tyre for Andrew ZH is starting to get some punishment. He looks up the inside at turn 1. That's going to be tight. Unfortunately, though, Fuchs runs a little bit wide, and it makes life much, much easier for the factory Ducati man. Through to 6 now for Andrew ZH.
Yeah, just showed him a wheel, forced him off the line, made sure that Fuchs couldn't get it down to the apex. Perfect little move there from Andrew ZH. So, what's the gap now in front of him? It is 1.9, almost 2 seconds. So he's got a fair bit of work to do if he wants to get on turns with Christian, but we have seen how quick he's been here in this race, coming through all these boys. And may I remind you, he may well have burned through them in 2 laps, but none of these guys are slow. They are all absolutely insane on this game, I have to say. So, Andrew then, going about the work and trying to make up some more valuable points.
Here's Piero Ricciuti holding on to 2nd place at the moment. Another strong ride coming from our youngest eSport competitor. Jack Hammer behind isn't much older as well. These are 2 of the rookies taking part in the Global Series for the very first time. This, I'm sure, is quite a daunting experience for them. 2 young lads under the bright lights of the Global Series arena. But so far, they're managing that pressure and that expectation pretty well so far. Great performances coming in from both Ricciuti and Jack Hammer, but with what, 2.5 laps remaining now here, I think that they're going to have a couple of issues from behind over the next 2.5 laps because the world champion is closing in at some rate. Now, only 1.5 seconds the difference between the KTM of Jack Hammer and the Repsol Honda of Adrian.
Well, you say about them handling the pressure, and maybe they might not be able to handle the pressure here as Adrian closes them down, but both of them, who's gone down? Ricardo Batara has gone down. That's very unfortunate for him, so that slips him right to the back of the order. But back to Jack Hammer and Piero Ricciuti. They're both rookies, as we said, but they've also both been on the podium this year already. So I think they can handle the pressure pretty well, but this, as you do say, Jack, will be another level of a test for them.
Of course, Piero Ricciuti is one of our fantastic 4 at the start of the season, the first time in MotoGP eSport history that we had 4 different gamers win the opening 4 races of the season. It was quite the dramatic start. And Trastevere, well, if he can hold on over the next 2 laps here in Austin, then it will be victory number 3 in 2021. And he'll take one huge step towards taking a 3rd title. 2 laps ahead of him, though, and maximum concentration you can see on the left there.
It's interesting because Trastevere putting this kind of performance in under all the pressure that he is. He's 7 points off the back of the championship lead. And I was speaking with one of the esports stars who remained unnamed. I don't want to give out any stage disclosure or anything. But he said that under the pressure, he thought Trastevere would be the one that would not crack or would not make any mistakes. And we are seeing that right now. So when the guys know what they're talking about, I think this is proving them right.
Well, 1.5 laps to go, and things are going to get very interesting in the fight over the final podium places. Now just a second between Jack Hammer and this man, Adrian, your 2020 champion, and, well, was championship leader, is championship leader. We'll wait until we get to the end of the race, but it looks like he's going to be knocked off top spot with 1.5 laps remaining. I thought he was going to catch up to Jack Hammer at a much quicker rate than what he's managed. He was able to take a second and a half out of him in almost a lap, but suddenly after that, Jack Hammer looks as though he's responded. There's only going to be 1 lap remaining very soon, and I think he's up against it to be able to get the better of the Brit here.
Yeah, certainly, I completely agree. We've seen on this lap alone, Jack Hammer was almost a second behind Piero Ricciuti, and he's clawed that gap back to half a second, so he's cut it in half in this single lap alone. I wonder if Piero Ricciuti's just starting to struggle with those rear tyres, so it could well be a factor of tyre wear coming in to be a factor late in the race here. As we cross the line for 1 lap to go, and 3 seconds is the lead of Trastevere, it's home and dry if he can make no mistakes.
1 lap to go then for Trastevere. We'll be focusing on this fight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Adrian 3/4 of a second away from Jack Hammer, and this is vital for the championship as well, because if Adrian can get the better of Jack Hammer here, he will add another 6 points to his total, which is absolutely huge. Let's see what he can do though. Adrian is up against it because that gap has been stagnating. 3/4 of a second it remains. Trastevere though has been able to pull out his lead. Just under 3 seconds, half a lap to go. It's been a brilliant performance from the Italian so far.
We need a Repsol Honda alert here. It's down to 4/10. He's putting in a qualifying lap. Is Adrian. He's closing in on Jack Hammer. I wonder if Jack Hammer's just getting a little bit held up by Piero Ricciuti, and it's causing that accordion effect, them to close up in the braking zone. As he's just gone wide, actually. He's made a little bit of a mistake. We saw Piero Ricciuti up on the front wheel, getting a little bit chaotic down into the braking zone there. And has it allowed Adrian through? He's less than a tenth off him, half a tenth now. He could well slipstream him down to pick up a vital podium spot. This would be some recovery from 10th on the opening lap all the way up into the podium places. That is no mean feat in eSport. What a ride this is from Adrian.
He's going to run wide, though. He's going to run wide. The opportunity comes back to Jack Hammer here. Oh, a little bit of controversy because he did run over track limits there.
Under him, he's going under him.
There goes Jack Hammer up the inside, and he manages to fight back. This is a proper battle on the final lap between these two. The Repsol Honda versus the factory KTM. Side by side they go into the final sector. Adrian on the inside, Jack Hammer trying to roll around the outside. Track limits warning there for Adrian. We'll have to see what race directions say at the end of this one, but we'll call it as we see it. And Adrian is just holding on. 2 corners remain. Meanwhile, Trastevere out front is going to take victory number 3 in 2021 and take a huge stride towards the eSport Championship. Brilliant from Trastevere, but Adrian remains in the game. He holds off Jack Hammer to take 3rd. What a recovery ride from the champion. And there will be just 11 points separating Trastevere and Adrian as we head to the final race of the season. What a race!
That was some superb ride from the pair of them. Trastevere commanded that from corner 1 all the way to the flag, and Adrian limiting the damage there, 10th all the way up to 3rd, nicking it off Jack Hammer in the closing stages. Superb effort from the Brit as well to hold him off, but it's all about that man you see on your screen, the number 73, Trastevere, shaking his head there, Adrian. He's really not happy indeed. That is not what he needs to be. That is not the mind frame that he needs to be as we head down into the final race.
I think Trastevere there, he's just trying to do some calculations to work out what the difference is going to be between himself and Adrian ahead of that final race of the season. Well, I can tell you, Trastevere, 11 points the difference, meaning that you can finish second behind him. Second is enough for the Italian going into the final race. There's Williams Christian in the background, I think just detailing to his brother Adrian exactly what happened in that opening corner incident. That, of course, the moment of the race. Adrian did brilliantly well to fight back though, Jack.
Yeah, he did an absolute superb job, and we have to say as well that second place Piero Ricciuti did a remarkable job also launching himself just into title contention, you must say, as we have one race to go. I do believe he'll be 23 points back from Trastevere. We'll wait and see in the championship standards that should be coming up for us very, very shortly indeed. All of our race direction guys will just be clarifying everything, making sure that there's no penalties needed, and hopefully very, very shortly indeed we'll have the full classification for you.
So another victory for Trastevere then, a vital one as well, number 3 in 2021 as he takes a huge stride towards this championship. But it's not over yet. As we saw in that opening corner, anything can happen in MotoGP Esport, and with the opening corner in Valencia similarly tight as well, that flow into turn 1, and then of course the bottleneck chicane at turn 2 as well is going to be super interesting. So let's take you through the highlights then of this opening race of the evening here in Valencia.
So then, race 7 of the 2021 Global Series got underway in Valencia, in Kota, as we do just say. Trastevere got the perfect start from pole position, laying down some rubber on the M1, launched it beautifully, but watch the Pramac racing machine. Riccardo Bottaro launched up the inside, and this was the pivotal point of the race. Just 5 seconds into it, and 2 of our previous world champions are down on the deck.
Just like that, Adrian was dropped to 10th, Andrew ZH down to 11th, Riccardo Bottaro handed a long lap penalty as well, and Adrian was up against it. He knew he had to fight his way through to stand any chance of winning another MotoGP Esport title, and that's exactly what he did. Up the inside of Fuchs to take 4th place, and then he had 3 seconds to chase down the young Brit Jack Hammer before then on the final lap being able to steal 3rd place away. Andrew ZH did a good recovery job himself, moving ahead of Ducati counterpart Riccardo Bottaro, although we think that Ricky Bottaro might well have just moved over to one side as an apology for that move earlier on. Here is this final sector battle then once again between Adrian and Jack Hammer. Brilliant stuff between the pair of them. They were side by side for about 5 corners, Jack, before Adrian eventually got his nose in front. No such dramas for this man, though. Trastevere taking win number 3 of 2021 in supreme style.
Yeah, the most crucial win of his 2021 Global Series campaign. Piero Ricciuti crossed the line to take 2nd, and that launches him right into contention, you must say. So there's your classification then. Trastevere, the winner from Piero Ricciuti, Adrian. Jack Hammer, fantastic 4th, narrowly missing out on the podium after running in 3rd the whole race. Christian in 5th, Andrew ZH in 6th, Fuchs 7th, great ride from him. Joel Clay, Dark Bright, Mr. T, and Riccardo Bottaro. And here is that all-important championship.
11 points then separating Trastevere and Adrian with just 1 race remaining. Piero Ricciuti still in contention as well in 3rd, with Andrew ZH certainly up against it now, 40 points adrift in 4th. Williams Christian, Ricky Bottaro, Dark Bright, Mr. TFTW, Joel Clay, Fuchs, and Jack Hammer is your championship classification with 1 race to go. So let's head down to the stage once more then. Imi Barkley is down there with your new championship leader, Trastevere.
Yeah, that's right. Here we are heading over to Tras. Congratulations. You have seized the championship lead for now. Here's the mic for you.
Thank you. I'm really happy. I'm sorry for the show of this race, but it's something that could happen. I won this race yesterday with pole position. No? This is also important. I try to keep calm, the concentration, but anyway, it's something that is happening to me also in the last races, in the past races. So anyway, now focus for the next one. Let's see. I'm happy.
Well, what a feeling for you, and I
Thanks
am
to all.
sorry, Adrian, you're handling it very well. Just back to you, Trast. Is there any strategy that you have going into this final race now that you can share with us?
Yes, sure. To start in the best way possible and follow Andrew, maybe bagar with him. Let's see. Try to be fast as possible. More. So let's see.
All right. Well, you're going to do your best then. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
at all. Thank you.
Good luck to all our riders. And before we get into that final race, then let's go back over to Jack and Jack to have a look at Valencia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Imi. Before we start all of our preparations for the season finale and start thinking who may well be crowned 2021 champion, let's once again just run you through the session info for Valencia. This time the circuit Ricardo Tormo. A few slight changes to what we've just seen in Austin. Nothing too major though. Let's take a look at the session info, because the major thing is a few more laps on offer this time around, Jack.
Yeah, as Jack says, there will be 10 laps of racing this time around Valencia. And well, there is no more venue more fitting to host the final race of the season than Valencia. As you can see there, everything is exactly the same as before, just those 10 laps we do say. Bike damage is off, so don't worry about that, as we saw a little bit of contact at turn 1 there in Kota. No damage to the bike, so they can carry on at full strength once more. So then, this really is it. We're coming down to it. That is one of the final formalities that we've got to go. And basically, qualifying took place a little bit earlier on, and I can say it was an absolute cracker of a qualifying session.
It was a crucial qualifying session as well, the final 15 minutes of action this year at Valencia, and it's provided quite the spicy grid. The front row starts with this man, Williams Christian. A second front row start of the evening for the Suzuki man means he'll be in the mix once again, you can guarantee that. In the middle of the front row is our now championship leader, Trastevere. A crucial one as well, because Adrian, not only is he up against it after what happened earlier, but he also starts this one from the back of the second row of the grid, down in 6th.
Yeah, but the fastest man of the day in qualifying was Andrew ZH, as he took his 4th pole position of the 2021 MotoGPeSport Global Series. There he is on the Ducati, and as we say, 4th pole position. He's had a devastating 1-lap pace in 2021. Will we see a final flourish from the 2019 champion? He's a little bit out of the points now, but there is still time enough to just grab some pride back.
Consolation prize for Andrew ZH, let's not forget as well, this pole position number 4 of 2021, meaning he wraps up the Tissot Pole of Pole Awards. A new watch going the way of the Italian after yet another brilliant performance. 1-lap pace has been his absolute saving grace so far this year. He takes pole position, Imi, and as a result, the Tissot prize, which we're about to hand over. So yeah, down to Imi, who will be able to hand over the Tissot Pole of Pole Awards with a very special guest.
Well, thank you, Jack. Yep, that's me. And exactly, it's the Tissot Pole Prize winner. And to do the honours, I'm delighted to welcome on stage Moto2 rider and Tissot ambassador, Tom Luthi. Woo! Fantastic. Welcome. Please take the mic.
Hello.
Well, hello. Now, Tom, before we celebrate the winner, we need to celebrate you, because this is an extraordinary weekend, the final of your racing career at the MotoGP. Are you able to put into words how you feel?
Yeah, it's quite a special weekend for sure, and it feels a little bit strange at the moment, but I try to keep focused, doing the job, keep the head on racing. I think this is the best I can do at the moment, but for sure it's special. All the family's here, my friends are here, so I try to enjoy as well my last racing weekend on a race bike.
Yeah, well, congratulations. The end of an era, but what a nice time to reflect on.
Thank you.
And speaking of time, you have the Tissot watch in your hand, so let's welcome over our pole winner. It's Andrew ZH. If he'd like to make his way across the stage, please give a round of applause for our Tissot Pole Prize winner. right, fantastic. Well, enjoy. I hope it brings you good luck. Thank you to Andrew ZH. Thank you to Tom Luthi for your help today. It's been a pleasure to have you in the show. Thank you. All right, now I'm feeling the excitement from here. We are now ready to start the final race of the championship. How's it looking up there, Jack and Jack? Are you ready?
Yeah, we certainly are ready because the commentary box has gone from being Jack squared to Jack cubed. Jack and Jack from now on. Jack Miller, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good to be here. Good to be in, company of a couple of legends by the name of Jack. So, no, I think we're on for a good race. Yeah, it's been good so far, and looking forward to seeing Andrew get on back this one.
And a Ducati man picking up a Tissot watch. We're pretty used to that in 2021.
Exactly. Well, it hasn't been me, but yeah, Pecco's definitely put us up there on the grid. I've been always bridesmaid, so. No, it's good to see Andrew's keeping it going here.
Your turn this weekend. We need your help with this one, though, mate, because before we go racing, let's take a look at the overtaking hotspots in Valencia, because we've got an expert to be able to tell us a few places to keep an eye on.
So then, these are the overtaking hotspots in Valencia. We'll just take a quick look at some of the circuit info. 4 kilometres in length for one of the shorter ones on the MotoGP calendar. We've got 9 left turns for them to navigate and 5 right turns. The right turns in real life are often one of the tricky features of Valencia, as I'm sure Miller beside me, I'm going to call him Miller because there's 3 Jacks and it's too confusing. But Jack, if you're looking at Valencia, where's some of your favourite overtaking manoeuvres?
Definitely, I think the 2 easiest are definitely going to be turn 1, turn 2 is quite a good one. Turn 4 is a little bit harder, being as it's on the first of the right-handers, but there's plenty of opportunity. Even the last corner can sort of open up and plenty of lines can form. So, no, it'll be interesting to see what the boys do to take on the course.
Here we go then.
The boys. Sorry, mate.
No problem at all. Let's get on with the final race of 2021. That's the championship picture then. 11 points separating Trastevere and Adrian, meaning the maths are very simple. A first or second place finish for Trastevere is good enough to pick up his 3rd eSport crown. Adrian has to go out there and win the race, or at least hope for a little bit of drama involving Trastevere. But without further ado, we've had 7 races so far filled with drama. I'm sure we're going to get one more. Double points on offer, and the MotoGP eSport crown, the destination of that will be decided shortly as we go racing in Valencia. Here we go then, it all comes down to this. 10 laps of the Circuit Ricardo Tormo to decide who will be crowned 2021 MotoGP eSport champion. I'm sure, Jack, that the nerves will be jangling at this point for these guys on the stage.
Yeah, definitely a lot on the line with the BMW award, but no, I definitely don't feel like I'd like to be in their shoes, but no, it should be a good race.
And obviously you're going to be supporting for Andrew ZH on the factory Ducati, but there is a fellow Australian out there, and he's also on a Ducati, so you're going to be cheering for him as well, Mr. TFTW?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the Ducatis, we're happy to see them back there, and no, I think it's shaping up to be a good race for them.
There's your front row of the grid then. Andrew ZH, Trastevere and Williams. Christian, row 2, Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti. And make a note of this, the man second in the championship, your reigning champion, but for how long? Adrian all the way down in 6th.
Yeah, he's got some work to do, and he's got Jack Hammer just behind him, the man that he just fought for that final podium place in Kota. Joel Clay on the Aprilia lines up 8th, and it's Dark Bright on the Tech-Free KTM in 9th.
Final row of the grid is Petronas Yamaha's Fuchs and Mr. TFTW. 4 flights it's taken him to get here from Brisbane, Australia. Let's hope it's been worth the journey. He can pick up a strong result here. But our attention will be at the front. Trastevere versus Adrian to be crowned the 2021 MotoGP eSport champion. And Trastevere will start from the middle of the front row of the grid. Can Andrew ZH get amongst it from pole position? Let's wait and see. The lights are on in Valencia and they're out and we're underway for the season finale. It's a strong start from Andrew ZH. Meanwhile, Trastevere
I was just about to say,
not there. What's happened here? We've got a little bit of a problem. So that's okay. We'll restart.
Re-rack them.
I like this. I like this. Just nice quick restart.
It is. It's just building up the drama. It's building up the intrigue.
We thought we got you there.
I know. We're just teasing you all at home. It's a good job we've got you here anyway, Jack, because we can actually talk to you about something instead whilst we make sure we get everything sorted. Good start to the weekend for you.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Nearly as good as Andrew's start then. It was all looking so great for him just then, but no, good start to the weekend. The weather's definitely looking a bit better on the game than what we had today, but no, hopefully it'll shape up like that for the rest of the weekend.
And are you a bit of a gamer? Have you ever tried your hand at the MotoGP eSport game?
Yeah, put it this way, I'm not really good at many things. Motorbike riding being one of them is probably the best thing I've got, so hence the reason I'm here. But no, I've tried the game, of course. These guys have me hand over fist for sure, but yeah, never know in the future.
So they don't need to be worried. There's not going to be a wild card
Definitely,
appearance.
no wild cards coming from me. There'll be wild cards coming from the back of the grid at least.
We're just waiting for these technical problems to be sorted out. So thank you for your patience. The Trastevere, the championship leader, the man with a few problems at the moment, and with all the nerves going into it, this is certainly not helping at all.
Is that something you ever suffer from, getting a bit of nerves at the start of the race? I'm sure you do, but is
Definitely.
there ways you deal with it?
And it is hard to deal with like this. You know, I mean, these guys have got a lot on the line, and you know, when everything's sort of going and you're about to start, and then it all gets let's say put on hold. You got to try and, like, let's say, control yourself, control the emotions, and then try to get going again. So yeah, definitely happy I'm not in their seats.
Well, of course, we've seen it before a couple of occasions. Argentina 2019, no, sorry, Thailand 2019. It was when pressed, was it the
wrong button? See, that's
button,
about as good as my gaming gets. You see, I can't even remember which button to press on the motorbike. So
I think that was the fastest run off the grid I've ever seen with a bike.
well, I knew I had to get off there real quick and try and get it started because I was going to be in trouble for switching it off. You know, I mean, they told me 1,000 times over the weekend, hey, we've moved the button, but you know, right at that moment when things are about to kick off, your mind sort of goes blank, I guess you could say, and yeah, just went back to force of habit.
How does that affect your mindset, having to restart and reset in such a pivotal moment?
I like that. It was like survival, mate. Just run, sprinters, get off the grid as quick as possible, try and get the bike going because, I mean, the lights were going out as I was starting the bike, so it didn't have too much time to think about it, not like these boys have got now at the moment anyway.
Yeah, well, there is your fellow teammate there. Andrew ZH, factory Ducati rider, looking fairly calm, cool and collected. 40 points back he comes into this, so it's going to be pretty tough. We do even have top Ducati management there watching on. Certainly your boss as well. So.
Certainly is my boss, yep, Paolo there on camera. Hey, Paolo. No, but yeah, unfortunate for him in the last race, getting knocked down in the first corner, but came back to a strong result. So hopefully, yeah, starting on pole here, I think he should be able to get away to another decent start like he did just then and right away from him.
We've seen Lynn Jarvis here as well, of course, Yamaha boss cheering on Trastevere. A few of the Moto3 riders here as well. I've seen Dennis Onchu, Ricky Rossi, Dennis Foggia, all in attendance. So they've all come down to catch the MotoGP eSport action before getting amongst it. Qualifying tomorrow, of course, here in Valencia, and then race day on Sunday. It's certainly going to be providing some tense moments, this. It's just a reminder, in case you're just joining us, 11 points separating Trastevere and Adrian ahead of this season finale. We're just having a few technical issues at the moment, so we're working our way through these to make sure that we can have everybody on the grid ahead of what's going to be an exciting finish to this 2021 MotoGP eSports season. And of course, we had the MotoGP guys getting amongst it in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Myself and Jack talking through the virtual races. Did you manage to catch any of them during lockdown last year?
I didn't, to be honest. I was.
You missed out.
I was quite busy. I was quite busy. They wanted me to get in on it, and I said, "Listen, boys, I don't have internet decent enough to play online at home anyway." So. Yeah, I missed out on that, but I had plenty else going on through the lockdown.
I mean, were too busy building a supercross track, weren't you?
Yeah, riding motorbikes, building motorbikes, building motocross tracks. I mean, yeah. Then, as I said, I was on dial-up till 2012, I think. So I did, you know, it's a bit basic where I am.
In the end, if you did miss them, Alex Marquez was the eventual king. I remember, in particular, a great battle. I think the only MotoGP Marquez versus Marquez battle we've had so far.
Final corner, Mazzano.
At Mazzano, Alex and Mark going head-to-head. There's Dennis Foggia as well. Give us a wave, Dennis. Great to see you. Little wink as well. Oh,
Dennis actually had a very funny moment in one of the virtual races last year where his Wi-Fi dropped out and all of a sudden his Moto3 machine became a helicopter on the front straight.
He did. I remember that is a meme-worthy bit of content now when he shouted, "Guys, I have a problem with Wi-Fi."
So then, still nerves, as you can see there from Trastevere, just keeping calm, trying to anyway. big, big races coming up, all for it on the championship. 11 points, as we had said quite a few times already. Hopefully we'll be underway very, very shortly indeed. The guys in the truck are just trying to sort out what's going on exactly with the technical issues. There's Fuchs, who had a great ride earlier on. Give us a wave. Fantastic. 7th place he had earlier, one of his best rides of the season. It's good to see him up there at the start. Well,
you've been involved in title deciders before, Jack, Moto 3, if I remember rightly. What's it like going into the final races when you know the stipulations? Are they in your back of your mind at all, or do you just go out to win the race and try to treat it like a normal one?
You try to, but that's never the case. I think, you know, you try and think of like all the mathematical equations while riding a motorcycle, which is not my strong point again, maths. But yeah, you're trying to do all that and then understand where the other guy is, and almost you need to almost have wing mirrors on your bike. But yeah, definitely, it's not the greatest of feeling. It's a lot nicer, you know, going out there knowing everything's sort of sorted and you can just focus on the race. But yeah, the boys seem to be handling it rather well, I think. Yeah, like you said, a lot of nerves. I feel for them.
Well, thank you very much, Jack, for your insight there. We've got the problem sorted. Let's get down to business then. This is it, the final race of 2021. With your front row of the grid, a reminder of that once more being Andrew ZH, Trastevere, your new championship leader, and Williams Christian. On to row 2 of the grid, where you'll find Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti, and the reigning world champion, Adrian.
And then on the last 2 rows of the grid, it's Jack Hammer on the KTM. Watch out for him coming through. Good start, hopefully. Joel Clay, the same on the Aprilia, and also Dark Bright on the Tech Freak KTM. And then rounding us out, it is Fuchs in 10th place and Mr. TFTW, the Australian, in 11th. Both with the hard front tyre. They're going to be aggressive off the start.
Here we go then. We'll do it one more time. Trastevere is there in the middle of the front row, so we are ready to go. The lights are on in Valencia, and we are underway in the season finale. Andrew ZH getting a strong start from pole position, but here comes his compatriot Trastevere. The pair side by side, they were, but the power of the Ducati just too much, and Andrew ZH takes the whole shot in Valencia.
Yeah, superb start then for Andrew ZH. Exactly what he wanted, straight out of the textbook. That one looked as though he just got hooked up pretty well and tucked it down into first position. That's going to be close between Riccardo Bottaro and Piero Ricciuti. Another fine start for Piero Ricciuti off the front row, so he's certainly looking to weigh in on this championship and have his say as we come down into it.
There's your championship leader Trastevere in second then, just off the rear of the race leader Andrew ZH. Current world champion Adrian down in 5th at the moment, which is not enough. He has to finish at the head of Trastevere, which is a tall order even at this stage of the race. Here he is on board with the Repsol Honda man. He's got a Ducati in front of him, Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti, Trastevere and Andrew ZH. He needs to clear all 4 of them if he's got any chance of taking back-to-back titles.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of work to do. And just wondered from your perspective, Jack, as though I think Piero Ricciuti
we've just had a pass. Yep, we have.
Just nipped up the inside. Good move. One of those that you've done before? Most likely.
Yeah, that definitely is one of those spots that sort of opens up, and you can definitely take advantage of the shorter route around the inside. But no, good to see all the boys nearly through the first lap unscathed, so that's nice to see.
Now for Trastevere as well, of course, being the championship leader, he knows that Adrian has got to finish ahead of him, so he'll know that he's behind in 5th. As a result, do you think he'll just back off ever so slightly and go into conservation mode?
No, I don't think so. I think he's one of those guys that's going to try and go out, I think, on a bang. Chase down the win would be nice, and give us a bit of a race.
Well, there we go. That's the live championship pictures then at the end of lap 1. Trastevere 15 points clear of Piero Ricciuti. Adrian totally out of the picture in 3rd at the moment for Trastevere. His biggest challenger is going to be the number 5 of Piero Ricciuti. But even if the Italian was to get ahead of Andrew ZH, it still wouldn't be enough for the LCR Honda man. But he's doing all he can at the moment, is the youngster.
Yeah, we know Piero Ricciuti's quick around here as well. Think back to that wild card he made in 2020. He really showed what he could do early on in his MotoGP eSport career, and it looks as though he's trying to do the same here, hunting down the factory Ducati man. But he does have the new World Championship leader all over the rear exhaust pipe of that Honda.
Perfect start for your teammate though, Jack, Andrew ZH. We've seen a few Bologna bullets fly off the line like that before.
Definitely have. Yeah, here's the pass, I think, now coming back. Yeah, just slipped up the inside here. Give him a bit of a nudge. But yeah, easy as that. I mean, he knows the championship's on the line, so he knows what he's got to do. But no, I think he might be able to get a little bit of support here from Riccardo as the race goes on. Maybe get another few bites between him and Trastevere.
And when it's like this, Jack, would you prefer to be out front and pushing the pace, or trying to catch up and come through?
It's always nicer trying to catch up. You know, you've got a target, somebody to set your sights on. Oh, as we've gone on the green there, but you'll have to watch that. Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody to set your target and sort of, you know, just a benchmark basically. Oh, we've had a crash.
Yeah, Mr. TFTW, your fellow Australian's gone down. That's a real shame, as we said. He's travelled from Brisbane to Sydney, Sydney to Dubai, Dubai to Madrid, and then down here to Valencia. Some journey to be able to compete in this eSport Championship. And, of course, something you know all too well about, Jack, 2 weeks of quarantine on the way back as well. So it's some journey for Mr. TFTW. Brilliant just to see him here in person after everything that's gone on over the past couple of years.
Yeah, definitely good to see an Aussie make it over for this, and to be able to get out of the country has been great. And yeah, I definitely don't envy him having to go back and do the 2 weeks quarantine. I can tell you it's very long.
Well, he's certainly been having a good time here. He's been enjoying himself, enjoying the paddock and the whole experience. So I'd say the trip has been well worth it then for Mr. TFTW. So here we go then, coming down to the end of lap 3, and it is still as we were earlier on in the race. Locked line astern, Andrew ZH, Piero Ricciuti, and then Trastevere. This is the man that needs to make up the ground. He has to put in some big manoeuvres if he wants to swing this championship to his favour and become a 2-time world champion.
He's got to start taking risks at this point because he needs to get in front of 4 riders in front of them, and the biggest concern, I'm sure, Jack, will be the fact that this leading trio are just starting to break away from Battaro and Adrian in 4th and 5th.
Yep.
Was that aimed at me? Or
Well, that's the problem with having 3 Jacks up here.
No, definitely there is a bit of a gap forming. I think Adrian's definitely going to have to try and make a move relatively quickly. But yeah, just after watching the last race, it seems like Ricciardo there on the Pramac bike's quite difficult to pass. He seems like a late breaker, and yeah, he's definitely able to make that Pramac Ducati fairly wide.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things we've seen from him all throughout the year. He is very, very difficult to pass, puts up a pretty good fight. Reminds me of several guys in the MotoGP paddock in real life that are extremely good on brakes. But as we come down into it then, it looks as though Adrian actually is just starting to come under some pressure from Christian behind.
Yeah, the Suzuki there putting a bit of pressure on him, so he's going to have to not look behind and just focus on that one in front of him, I think, and yeah, as he closes in there. So hopefully he'll be able to make a move here and give us something to cheer about.
This is the perfect scenario for Trastevere as well, leading the championship at the moment, but most importantly, he's got, 4 or 5 bike lengths behind him. He's got that little bit of fresh air where he knows that the move isn't going to come from Ricky Battaro behind. He can sit there quite happily in 3rd at the moment, just see the laps tick by, knowing that if he can get to checkered flag with things as it stands, he is the 3-time champion.
Yeah, it's not a bad position to be in, really, is it, at all? It's reminding me a little bit of kind of Marc Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso in 2017, this one. Kind of desperation starting to creep in for Adrian. Really needs to get going and make these manoeuvres.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to make a mistake when these things come. As you said, he needs to just start throwing caution to the wind. But it's easier said than done for sure. He's definitely thinking about it quite a lot. But yeah, I know from my point of view, I think it'll be lovely to see a little scrap there towards the end of the race. It'll be nice.
I'm sure we will. We saw plenty of scraps throughout the year, so there's definitely a good chance of it repeating itself.
We're just on board with Trastevere there, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he's the championship leader. You saw both Andrew ZH and Piero Ricciuti making slight mistakes, just like that one from Andrew ZH, running ever so slightly wide, but Trastevere picked every mark and hit them perfectly as well. He is the typical Yamaha rider. Of course, these bikes are all equal performance, so there's no benefit of being on any motorcycle, but if you had to describe him as a rider perfect for any machine, it would be the Yamaha, and just as I say that, he runs ever so slightly wide there.
Yeah, you jinxed him.
You say that, but I mean, everyone always wants to ride a red bike, don't they? They're always faster.
Well, since you're here, we'll say yes, clearly they are faster at the moment as well, because they're leading the race. So far, so good for Andrew ZH. And he looks as though he's just starting to edge a little bit clear at the front of this race. 7/10 of a second ahead of Piero Ricciuti. That is a little bit of a comfort buffer that will be definitely taken by Andrew ZH. Meanwhile, further back, here comes Adrian. He needs to start making moves, and this is the first of them. It's the contact there. I think he just avoids it. Meanwhile, brother Christian looked up the inside. I don't think we're going to be seeing him making a move. There's definitely some family rankings going on here because Christian won't be making a move on brother Adrian and costing him the chance at a world championship.
No team orders, you say. Family orders.
Family orders it is. Suzuki man and the Honda man will be working together, but at the moment, just as you said a couple of laps ago, Jack, Ricky Bottaro is proving quite the challenge to get past.
Yeah, that is the widest Ducati we've seen for quite some time. He's certainly running it quite wide, carrying lots of corner speed, braking hard, making sure that they just cannot get alongside him. We see there from Adrian, if he's going to make the move, he's got to go for it and make it stick, because if it doesn't work and it doesn't come off for him, he's just going to get a position picked off or lose a good chunk of time to the man that he's trying to overtake now, Ricky Bottaro.
I think heading into the next lap, maybe at turn 2, he might be able to have a chance as they've just seen the lap before. He's able to creep in ever so... Oh, he might even come now.
Ooh, just got away at the wrong time there. Looked as though Adrian was about to try and dive up the inside. I think
he didn't get it. I don't think he got it. No. So my money's on turn 2, I think. He's not close enough this lap. But yeah, definitely he needs to definitely assert himself now. I think it is caution the win moment. And yeah, if he wants a chance of trying to chase down those front boys, it's now or never kind of thing.
4 laps to go then here in the Valencia. This is the final race of 2021 in the MotoGP Esport Championship. And as things stand, Trastevere on the factory Yamaha will create history by becoming the first 3-time champion. His first championship since back in 2018. But with 4 laps to go, he won't be thinking about that just yet.
Andrew Zedé just got the pressure on him. Fastest lap of the race for Piero Ricciuti on the LCR Honda. Looks as though he's just brought that gap down to it's just creeping up back again, but it was under half a second there for a few moments. So it's just kind of to-ing and fro-ing between these two at the front. I'm sure contrasting lines is all causing that accordion effect, and it's just stretching and then condensing that gap once more. But this man, perfect position, as Jack says, just watching these two, doesn't have to do anything, can just sit there. He's got his main championship rival right in front of him, can just watch him, make sure he doesn't get in front of Andrew ZH, and if he does, then it's his time to pounce.
Crash for Jack Hammer there, that's a shame for the Brits. Double disappointment after missing out on a podium finish on the final lap in Austin earlier on. Now he's crashed out and drops himself down to 9th. A real shame for the KTM man after so much promise at the start of the season. It just hasn't come together for him in the end, but you can be guaranteed, given the pace he's shown throughout 2021, we'll see him back on the Global Series grid in 2022. 3 laps remaining then at Valencia, and Adrian is really up against it now. The clock is ticking, time is running out for the Spaniard.
Yeah, definitely. I think Trastevere now is definitely the most nervous laps, I think, now coming to the end of the race. As you said, he's got a bit of a buffer, but yeah, everything's running through your mind at this point, I think. Where are they? What are they doing? And you're just trying to hit your markers in every single braking zone correctly.
And how frustrating is this as well for Adrian at the moment? It looks as though he's got the pace to get in front of him, but he just can't find a way through.
Yeah, as I saw before with Andrew, when he was stuck in behind him for a majority of the race in Texas, it is very, very difficult to pass. I think it took until Ricciardo making a mistake before he could actually get through on him. So unless Ricciardo does something wrong, I don't see Adrian getting past him.
And that is one of the things as well that the gamers were saying as they get very, very close there indeed. The gamers were saying this is kind of, it's almost a bit of a train race, this one in Valencia, because it's extremely difficult to overtake. Very one line in MotoGP Esport. Just wondered if it's the same in real life as well, if it's one of those tracks that's a bit harder.
It is harder, definitely. You know, there are great overtaking positions here in Valencia, but, you know, it is a relatively tight track on the MotoGP bike. So, yeah, you're constantly fighting wheelie with the wind of the other bikes, and then also making a pass, it's kind of hard to keep the momentum going because each corner kind of leads into the other, so you can lose a little bit. Oh, we've had another crash.
Well, here's this turn 2, as you said before, but looks like he's just not going to go for it this time. Oh, actually, he's gone wide, Ricardo Bottaro. This could be the opportunity coming down into turn 3. No, not quite. It looks as though he's going to barge him out of the way.
Oh, he's having a big look up the inside, but again, no way through. Brilliant defence from Ricardo Bottaro, holding off the world champion Adrian. But for how much longer now? Only a lap and a half remaining. It looks as though the Repsol Honda man's reign as MotoGP Esport champion is coming to an end, unless something dramatic happens in these closing stages. Here he goes. He looks up the inside. He'll have the inside line here as well. But look at that from Bottaro. So late on the brakes and somehow holds him off. Adrian fights back once more. But again, Bottaro slams the door shut. Brilliant defence from the Pramac Ducati man.
Well, he said, Jack, about how late he was on the brakes, and he's proven exactly that. He's parking it on the apex every single time. Adrian just has to try and get the run somehow to get alongside him and just barge him out of the way, block past him so he can get back up into fourth. But every time he's tried so far, nothing has come off. Maybe this time down into turn 14.
Can he finally get the job done? He looks up the inside, but again, no way through for the 26. We're on to the final lap in Valencia. Time has surely run out now for Adrian. He's going to try and take fourth place if he can. I think turn 2, Jack, as you've said, is going to be his best opportunity. Meanwhile, we'll focus on this man, Trastevere, just 1 lap away from becoming a 3-time MotoGP eSport king. He's done what he's had to do here in Valencia. Another podium will be enough to see him crowned champion once again.
Well, he always said he was going to win another one, and it looks as though it's just been on loan for a couple of years. Trastevere this year, he didn't start out the year in the best form, but picked up the results where he needed to. Just avoided the carnage and the chaos between all of the other riders out on track, and he's just put the results in. And as we've gone on, he's just got better and better and better. And this is what you're seeing right now. 2 champions rides this evening, and it looks as though it is going to give him this MotoGP eSport World Championship.
Andrew ZH, let's not forget, he's going to take victory, a second one of the season for the factory Ducati man. He has shown pace throughout the season, but a couple of errors here and there, some of which are not his own, is what the end is going to mean that he finishes 4th in the championship. And Piero Ricciuti as well, for a rookie to finish 2nd in the eSport championship. That is an incredible performance from the Italian.
Yeah, superb. Fantastic performance. We've obviously seen MotoGP rookies in real life come up recently and finish very, very well in the championship, but none so much as Piero Ricciuti is doing here in MotoGP eSport. Here we go, through the final corner then. He is going to be world champion.
Here he comes then, Trastevere comes across the line in 3rd and is your 2021 MotoGP eSport champion. Disappointment for Adrian there, but elation for Trastevere after having to play second fiddle in 2019 to that man Andrew ZH. And once again in 2020, he has finally taken back the crown he won in 2017 and 2018 to become a 3-time MotoGP eSport champion. A brilliant performance from the factory Yamaha man. He did all he had to do in Valencia. 3rd place is enough. Andrew ZH with victory, Piero Ricciuti in 2nd. But let's hear from your new champion. Imi Barkley is down there with Trastevere.
Absolutely brilliant. We have got our new champion 2021 of the MotoGP Esports Global Series. I mean, just incredible. Tras 73. Let me get congratulations. Let me give you this microphone. I mean, oh, even got a lucky toy. Tell us how that race was. And who is this then? Who is this? Making a nice appearance. All right then, Tras, let the emotions run through. And when you have a moment, tell us how your race was.
It's difficult. I can't believe it. Yes, it's a dream that comes true. Oh my God, I worked hard all the season with Yamaha, with all the sponsors. I'm very happy. And I want to say thanks to all the people that supporting me, all the riders. There is a big respect, and I love this. Wow. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
What do you think made the difference today?
What?
What do you think made the difference in your style of gaming, how you
I
approached the race?
think the mind here, when I arrived here with this software, this beta was difficult to adapt in my riding style. But then with the mind, we keep calm. I try to find feeling every session more, and this is the result. So thanks to all. I can't believe it.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, well actually, I reckon you'll probably be pretty excited, Tras. This is your prize. This is your new set of wheels. Come on out and receive the keys. You can drive this home all the way to Italy if you fancy. Your new BMW. If you'd like to take your way carefully down here. Whoa! Enjoy. Tras, more time for that later, absolutely. But if you make your way downstairs and head over to the car and get the keys to your new car, your new BMW. down to the car with you. Absolutely, this is yours. I know, it's almost like you don't even believe it. Take it all in. Another BMW. You're not going to get it. Just have a good walk around it. Check it out. See if the seat suits you. You look very nice, doesn't he? Yep. That is the car for you. You look good in it. All right, well, congratulations to our absolutely epic Italian winner, Trast 73. Now, he does know what that feels like. He has won here before. He's starting to rack up a fleet of BMWs from the MotoGP Esport Global Series Championship, I think. And fantastic. All right. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, but we are going to go over to Jack, and Jack in the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you very much, Imi. €80,000 worth of car going the way of Trastevere. That's not bad, Jack, is it?
It's definitely not too bad. A lovely gift to walk away from Valencia with, for sure.
Well, thank you very much for joining us up in the commentary box. We need you actually down on the stage for the podium ceremony, mate. So you hop off in a minute. Before that, though, let's show you exactly what happened in that final race of 2021.
So then the finale, the Global Series finale is complete, and well, it got off in fine, well, actually not fine style, as we did have some technical problems, but after that it did get off in fine style. Trastevere had a great launch off the line, but it was the Ducati power of Andrew ZH that led down into turn one, and that was pretty much all she wrote for the victory, but it certainly was not all she wrote for the rest of the race.
Yeah, a brilliant performance from Andrew ZH in the end. A lights to flag victory, pole position, his fourth of the year, proving vital. He took the whole shot, as we said, and in the end, romped home for victory number 2 in 2021. The fight behind for second place, it heated up for just a second, but I think Trastevere in the end saw sense. He knew that third was good enough for the championship. There was no point risking everything to try and get ahead of Piero Ricciuti, so he was quite happy to sit there in third. Adrian was getting desperate by the end. He threw everything he had at Ricky Bottaro on the Pramac Ducati, but he just couldn't find a way through.
Yeah, Jack Miller rightly pointed out that Ricardo Bottaro was superb on the brakes, and that is exactly how it proved to be. This man, Adrian, tried and tried and tried again. Through all of the overtaking manoeuvres that he tried to stick on him, none of them worked, and in the end, it eventually went all the way down into the gravel trap as he crashed out in the final sector of the final lap. It was desperation for him, but he just could not quite pull it off. This man, though, out front was superb, but all the highlights are about the man on the blue bike, Trastevere.
There's Adrian in the background, and as we come through the middle sector here in Valencia, what a sequence of corners this was between both Adrian and Ricardo Bottaro. Look at this move from the Pramac Ducati man, so late on the brakes, somehow keeping the Repsol Honda behind, but it didn't end there. A little bit of a touch between the pair, and again Ricardo Bottaro slammed the door shut on Adrian. Brilliant racing between the pair, and this is what happened on the final lap. Again, just looking for a move, but it was too little, too late. The front end folded, and the championship was lost. Disaster for Adrian, but this man pulled a big wheelie across the line. It's time to celebrate in Yamaha. MotoGP World Champion with Fabio Quartararo, and now MotoGP Esport World Champion with Trastevere. These are the final results then. Race 8 of 8 in the 2021 Global Series. Andrew ZH taking the win ahead of Piero Ricciuti and Trastevere, and as a result, this is what the championship picture looks like. 15 points is his winning margin, with Piero Ricciuti taking third. And importantly, that crash right at the end for Adrian means that he's not on the championship podium at all. He came into tonight leading the championship, and he's going to finish tonight not even on the podium. This man will stand on top of it, though. The BMW keys handed over to Trastevere. 80 G's, baby. What a win for Trastevere that is. If you need a taxi in Italy, then he's the man from now on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get him to give me a lift back to the hotel tonight, because that would do the trick absolutely superbly. But it's basically time for me and Jack to clock off. Thank you very much to every single one of you that's watched on. It's been superb, Jack, hasn't it? It's been fantastic.
Yeah, incredible season of 2021 it has been in the MotoGP Esport Championship. It just gets better year on year, and the drama again this year has has been superb. As we said, this season started with 4 different winners in 4 races, and then in the end, the race coming down, the championships that I said, going to the final race, Trastevere taking the win. Mr. 2-time has become Mr. 3-time. Let's make it official. Imi has got Jack Miller with him for the podium ceremony.
All right, well, thank you so much to the Jacks. And yeah, it's not over yet because this is one of the best moments, the podium ceremony, and I'm thrilled to be joined on stage by Jack Miller. Now, fresh out the commentary box, how was that for you commentating on this esports?
Yeah, definitely something new for me, but no, the racing was great. Great to be here. Must be a lucky charm for the Ducati boys, so no, great for him to get a win, and yeah, and for Trastevere to take home the championship for the 3rd time. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. And there's a lot for you to take in, actually, being at this final event. How do you rate it?
No, it's been good. You know, it's my first time over here, and amazing show, amazing atmosphere inside the dome here. And no, hopefully we'll be back again next year.
Any words for our champion that he might take into his future career?
Ask him if he wants to swap me cars. I think him and Fabio are going to have a lot of fun. They both got a new BMW this weekend, so they can go off and do some burnouts together.
That sounds pretty good. All right, then, thank you so much, Jack. Now, if you'd like to get on with presenting the prizes to the podium, then, Miller, if you can award our 3rd place, which would be this trophy here. Please give it up for Andrew ZH. And in 2nd place, Piero Ricciuti, 55. And of course, to our MotoGP Esports Global Series Champion 2021, it's Tras73. Onto the podium. Gentlemen, onto the podium with you. Piero, up in your position. This is your moment. Fantastic. Now? All right. So thank you to our incredible riders, those who are here. Thank you to Jack Miller for being here tonight. And thank you to our audience for joining in on the thrill that is the MotoGP Esport Global Series Championship 2021. Until next time, good night.